Strange as it seems that they keep predicting the future, I'm not so sure whether you should be going back to your old VHSs of early Simpsons to get your lottery ticket.
Well, at least I liked it.
I have come back in time to reveal the events of the future, so that you can amaze the world with your uncannily accurate predictions.
The Simpsons have amazed us for decades with humor and their bizarre knack for predicting the future. From technological advancements to global crises, their predictions are often strangely accurate. But what might they have in store for 2025? Will their takes on a zombie apocalypse or horrifying scenarios like World War III drills happen in real life?
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!
Join us as we reveal the widest Simpsons 2025 predictions. Be prepared to laugh or worry. Flying cars. In the Simpsons episode Future Drama Season 16, Episode 15, flying cars were imagined as part of daily life. Although they still feel like a futuristic fantasy, real-world companies are making significant progress toward making them a reality. Companies like Terrafugia, a subsidiary of the Chinese carmaker Geely, have developed the Transition. This vehicle can drive on the road and fly in the air. Another major player, Urban Aeronautics, is working on the City Hawk, a compact flying car designed for cities with the ability to take off and land vertically.
The Vertical Takeoff and Landing Drone, or VERTOL, is GM's first foray into aerial mobility. We are preparing for a world where advances in electric and autonomous technology make personal air travel possible.
Other companies, such as JY Aviation and Lilium, are exploring air taxis, which would function like ride-sharing services but in the sky. The technology behind flying cars is rapidly advancing, with electric propulsion, better batteries, and autonomous flight systems at the core. Many flying car prototypes are electric, making them more eco-friendly than traditional airplanes. Autonomous technology ensures these vehicles can navigate safely in busy city airspaces without human pilots. As more companies get involved, flying cars could soon revolutionize how we travel, bringing us closer to the flying cars of The Simpsons. What do you think about this prediction? Do you see it coming to pass in 2025? If you believe this prediction is intriguing, what would you say when you see this next one? Nuclear Armageddon. The Simpsons have often delved into apocalyptic themes, but one of their most chilling predictions involves a nuclear Armageddon. In the episode Homer the Great, a comedic twist reveals a secret society detonating a nuclear bomb as part of their plan. Another episode takes a darker turn, portraying the aftermath of a nuclear disaster where Homer is the last man on Earth, wandering a desolate, ruined world. Though delivered with the show's signature humor, the message is hard to ignore, especially given the ongoing global tensions and fears surrounding nuclear weapons.
Now, Simpson, because of your many years as a nuclear technician, we're putting you on a nuclear sub.
Nuclear.
With political unrest and threats of war on the rise, this prediction feels unsettlingly relevant. Could an atomic catastrophe ever become a reality? As entertaining as The Simpsons may be, their ability to blend comedy with heavy themes like these leaves viewers with more questions than answers. Here's hoping this horrifying prediction is still firmly in fiction forever. Colonizing Mars. In the Simpsons episode The Marge Ian Chronicles, the show boldly imagines the idea of colonizing Mars. What was once pure science fiction is now an actual race, with both NASA and SpaceX pushing to make interplanetary travel and settlement possible. The dream of reaching Mars is closer than ever. SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, has been a key player in this ambition. Musk's long-term vision is to create a human colony on Mars, viewing it as vital for humanity's survival. SpaceX's Starship, designed to carry people and cargo to Mars and beyond, has had successful tests. Musk's goal to send humans to Mars by the mid-20s might happen. NASA is also preparing for Mars missions through its Artemis program and robotic missions like the Perseverance rover, studying Mars's environment and gathering samples for future research. With advancements in space technology, a Mars mission may not be as impossible as it once seemed. Could 2025 be the year that history is made? Apple Vision Pro.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we're looking into another alleged prediction by The Simpsons. A video that has gone viral on social media claims The Simpsons predicted the newly released Apple Vision Pro.
The Simpsons continue to amaze fans with their knack for predicting the future. In 2016, an episode featured a futuristic headset that allowed users to see anything they imagined, travel virtually, and complete tasks without physical interaction. Fast forward to today, and Apple's Vision Pro mirrors this concept almost perfectly. This cutting-edge headset enables users to immerse themselves in a virtual world, blending augmented and virtual reality for experiences that seem straight out of science fiction. It's astounding how closely The Simpsons portrayed this technology years before it became a reality. People now wonder if they foresee Apple's innovation, or if they are just masters of predicting tech trends. From smartwatches to video calls, the show has consistently envisioned devices that now dominate our lives. The similarities between the show's depiction and Apple's Vision Pro are striking, proving how the writer's creativity has seemingly bridged fiction and reality. Mind control technology. In The Simpsons episode Bart to the Future, Season 11, Episode 17, the show explored the idea of mind control technology. This concept has fascinated scientists for years. While actual mind control is still far from reality, recent advances in neuroscience and mind-computer interfaces bring us closer to controlling and understanding thoughts. One key area of progress is brain-computer interfaces, which allow the brain to directly interact with external devices. Companies like Neuralink, founded by Elon Musk
revealing a second patient has been implanted with Neuralink, an experimental brain-computer interface that allows patients to control technology with their mind,
are working on implants that let people control computers, prosthetics, and other machines just by thinking. Although still in the experimental stages, some exciting breakthroughs have already been made. For example, researchers have used BCIs to help paralyzed patients regain movement or even restore speech. This means the future could be closer than we think. Holographic technology. Still, in The Simpsons episode Bart to the Future, holographic technology takes center stage when Bart receives a holographic invitation for his band to perform at a club. The invitation humorously opens with, "Hey Dingus, your band can play at my club tonight." While presented lightheartedly, the idea of holograms being used for communication and entertainment feels strikingly ahead of its time. Today, hologram technology is rapidly advancing, with applications ranging from live performances by holographic musicians to virtual meetings that bring people together in 3D. The Simpsons' creative vision raises interesting questions about where technology might take us. With companies like Microsoft and Meta investing heavily in augmented reality and holographic devices, this prediction feels closer to reality than ever before. Economic collapse. The Simpsons episode Bart to the Future holds one of the most intriguing predictions. The show imagined a dramatic U.S. economic collapse many economists fear could happen. While the global economy has bounced back in recent years, the risks of another crash remain. A significant concern is the growing international debt, especially with countries like the U.S. having record-high national debts surpassing $33 trillion.
As we stand here today, we are now swimming in $33 trillion of debt. Deficits projected to be close to $2 trillion going forward.
This could lead to instability, particularly if interest rates rise, making it harder to pay off these debts. Rising inflation, worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic, is another issue. There's also the fact that the increasing dependence on technology makes financial systems vulnerable to cyber attacks or technical failures. Geopolitical tensions like trade wars, global conflicts, and climate change-induced disasters add more strain. Although lessons have been learned from past crashes, the threat of a major economic collapse is still very real. Black hole. Black holes are one of the most mysterious phenomena in space. While we know they exist, much about them remains unclear. The Simpsons took a humorous spin on this mystery in one of their episodes. A tiny black hole appears and gradually grows, pulling everything around it into its massive pull. As it grows, it seems to get bigger and more powerful, eventually sucking in everything, including people. In a strange twist, These individuals are transported to a new world, where alien beings greet them, making it feel like a bizarre adventure. While the show presents this scenario in a fun way, it raises a scary thought. What if something like this were to happen in real life, especially in 2025? Scientists have studied black holes for years, with NASA's Hubble Space Telescope providing crucial data on these mysterious objects. But even with all our technology, we still don't fully understand them. So could 2025 be the year we discover more or even encounter a black hole? Baby Translator.
Found a new mom to try it all out here.
Yeah, and I can tell you that no matter how much you love your baby, it's a horrible sound when you can't figure out how to make it stop, right? So that's the idea. And the answer you need may be right in the iTunes or the Google Play Store.
In The Simpsons' Lisa the Simpson episode, Martin Prince invents a groundbreaking device, a baby translator. This invention claims to decode baby babble and cries into understandable English, bridging the communication gap between infants and adults. At first, the characters dismiss the idea as absurd. Even Marge, known for her supportiveness, finds it hard to believe, but skepticism turns to amazement when the translator proves to work, revealing the thoughts and needs of baby Maggie. The invention becomes a central comedic yet heartwarming highlight of the episode. In the future, baby translators could revolutionize the way we communicate with infants. These innovative devices could come in various forms, such as wearable devices, smart baby monitors, or even brain-computer interfaces, commonly called BCIs. Wearable devices would be small, non-invasive, and attached to a baby's clothing or wrist. They would use AI-powered algorithms to detect and interpret a baby's coos, cries, and gestures. Can this prediction from The Simpsons and futuristic possibility with AI one day come true in 2025? FIFA Controversy. It is no news that The Simpsons have an uncanny ability to reflect real-world events, and their take on FIFA's bribery scandal is no exception. Long before the scandal broke, the show aired an episode poking fun at corruption within international football. In a comedic twist, a desperate soccer official pleads, "Mr. Simpson, help us, the rot is everywhere." Moments later, he predicts his own arrest for corruption, leaving Homer to take charge. Homer, however, refuses a bribe from a player shown a red card, proving his integrity in the chaotic world of football. This storyline strangely mirrors the real-life FIFA scandal, where widespread corruption and bribery among officials were exposed. The Simpsons' ability to predict events isn't just entertaining, it's almost prophetic, leaving fans wondering just how much they know about the future. Increased cyber attacks. In The Simpsons episode Diggs Season 25, Episode 12, the show explored the growing concern of cyber attacks, which is becoming a serious issue in the real world. As we depend more on digital systems, the risk of cybercrime increases. Hackers now carry out attacks like ransomware, which locks people out of their files and demands money to restore access. Schools, hospitals, and businesses have all fallen victim to these attacks, causing massive disruptions. One of the most prominent examples was the 2021 Colonial Pipeline attack, which shut down a main fuel pipeline in the US, exposing vital systems' vulnerability to cyber threats. Big companies like Sony and Equifax have also been attacked, with millions of people's personal data stolen. Governments are now more concerned about cyber warfare, where countries like Russia, China, and North Korea use hacking to target sensitive information.
Russia is behind the massive hack that hit several federal agencies, among them the Treasury, Commerce, and Justice Departments. 18,000 organizations were affected globally by a cyber attack
and disrupt national security. These attacks can harm major services and even interfere with elections, making the world more aware of the dangers of living in a digital age. Confined within a dome. Being confined within a dome brings an unsettling feeling of restriction. This concept was powerfully depicted in the Simpsons movie 2007, where the US government seals Springfield under a massive glass dome. The town quickly spirals into chaos as resources like food, fuel, and even Botox run out. Initially seen as fiction, this dramatic turn of events sparks intriguing questions about its potential real-world implications. Imagine if such a scenario were implemented in the future. Some experts speculate that confined, self-sustaining environments may become necessary to combat overpopulation and environmental collapse. But such measures could also provoke ethical dilemmas, raising fears about individual freedoms and societal divisions. The thought of a dome as a containment strategy leaves us wondering, will humanity ever face such drastic measures? Have you heard of this prediction before now? If you think it's strange, prepare for a more rude shock when you see the next one. World War III. In The Simpsons, the idea of World War III has been explored in several episodes, often with dark humor and exaggerated predictions. In one episode, Homer rushes to prepare his family for a nuclear war, shouting, "Wake up everybody, it's World War III," and quickly ushering them to a fallout shelter. Another episode offers a satirical take on a massive global crisis, imagining a colossal conflict that feels all too real. These fictional scenarios have raised questions about whether the world could be headed toward a similar fate, but with growing political instability and global conflicts, especially in places like Ukraine, many wonder if The Simpsons may have predicted these events. In fact, the show has made strangely accurate guesses about major global issues, like the Russia-Ukraine war. So while The Simpsons often uses humor to explore serious topics, its depictions of global crises mirror our current political and social struggles. Global surveillance. The Treehouse of Horror Season 20, Episode 4, imagined a world where global surveillance was everywhere. People's every move was captured, leading to constant monitoring. Fast forward to today, and this idea is frighteningly close to becoming reality. Technology advancements like facial recognition, drones, and online tracking have raised serious concerns about privacy and personal freedom. Surveillance is no longer just a government issue. Both governments and private companies use these technologies. Governments like China have built massive surveillance systems to track citizens.
China's pursuing an ambitious plan to create an omnipresent video surveillance network. The Shuiliang or Sharp Eyes project aims to extend and integrate video surveillance from cities into villages and from roads into residential compounds.
This includes a social credit system that monitors and scores people's behavior in China. In 2013, whistleblower Edward Snowden revealed the extent of the U.S. National Security Agency's surveillance programs, showing how deeply governments were spying on individuals, often without their knowledge. The once fictional technology is now part of our daily lives, changing how we interact with the world. But how far will it go, especially in the coming year? Solar automobiles. In an episode of The Simpsons titled Path to Glory, Lisa Simpson builds a solar-powered car to compete in the alternative energy derby. Her excitement quickly turns to frustration when a large advertising banner from a passing plane blocks out the sun, causing her car to come to a complete stop. While the moment is played for laughs, it cleverly highlights one of the solar-powered vehicle's main challenges, their reliance on consistent sunlight. In real life, solar-powered cars are slowly becoming a reality. Companies like Lightyear and Sono Motors have been developing models incorporating solar panels to supplement traditional batteries. These vehicles aim to reduce dependence on fossil fuels and provide a greener alternative for transportation. But the technology is still in its infancy, with limited models available and challenges like efficiency and cost to overcome. This Simpsons prediction remains both hopeful and thought-provoking. Disney buys Fox. The Simpsons seem to have a crystal ball for the future, and one of their most striking predictions was Disney's purchase of 20th Century Fox 19 years before it happened. In the 2000 episode Bart to the Future, a subtle background detail shows a sign revealing that 20th Century Fox is owned by Disney. What seemed like a clever joke became a reality when Disney officially acquired Fox in 2019 for $71.3 billion.
A massive deal to combine two of the world's biggest entertainment giants was announced just moments ago. The Walt Disney Company is buying a large portion of 21st Century Fox. That includes its movie and TV studios, the Hulu streaming service.
This prediction has fascinated fans for years. They've wondered how the writers foresaw such a massive shift in the entertainment industry. Some argue it's just a coincidence, while others believe the show's creators have an uncanny ability to analyze trends and exaggerate them in ways that eventually come true. From the rise of streaming to massive corporate mergers, The Simpsons always seems to stay ahead of the curve. The rise of the Undead. In a quirky episode of The Simpsons, A fast food restaurant introduces a burger with an unexpected side effect. It turns customers into zombie-like creatures. Springfield descends into chaos as nearly everyone, except the Simpson family, falls victim to this bizarre food-related apocalypse. The episode blends humor with horror, showcasing a world overrun by the undead. While it's just another satirical plot, it raises an interesting question. Could humanity ever face such a nightmare in reality? Though far-fetched, this storyline mirrors real-world fears of pandemics caused by mysterious outbreaks or bioengineered viruses. Scientists continue exploring ways to combat diseases that could spread like wildfire. The concept of a zombie apocalypse, as unrealistic as it seems, has even been used by the CDC to promote emergency preparedness, proving how embedded this idea is in pop culture and public imagination. If ever this happens, would you have what it takes to survive? Autonomous vehicles. In an episode of The Simpsons titled The Days of Future Future, the show hilariously explores the potential pitfalls of autonomous vehicles. A self-driving car malfunctions mid-journey, leaving its passenger in panic. "There's no steering wheel! How do I stop?" the passenger cries as the car glides forward relentlessly, ignoring the request for a bathroom break. While the scene is humorous, it highlights a genuine concern. What happens when technology fails? Today, self-driving cars are no longer just science fiction. Companies like Tesla, Waymo, and others are actively developing autonomous vehicles that promise to revolutionize transportation. The Simpsons' prediction seems amusing and worthy of discussion as we edge closer to a future dominated by driverless cars. Global environmental crisis. The Simpsons episode Future Drama, Season 16, Episode 15, showed how environmental disasters wreak havoc on the world, reflecting the reality of our current global crisis. Climate change, deforestation, and pollution are no longer distant warnings. They are visible challenges shaping our future. The Earth's rising temperatures, driven by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide from human activities, have caused ice caps to melt and sea levels to rise. Coastal communities face growing threats, while heat waves, droughts, and unpredictable weather patterns disrupt agriculture and wildlife. Deforestation, particularly in areas like the Amazon rainforest, worsens the crisis. These forests, essential for absorbing CO2, are being destroyed for agriculture and illegal logging. Meanwhile, plastic pollution is choking oceans, endangering marine life. So activists like Greta Thunberg continue to demand bold actions, reminding us the clock is ticking. Will we act in time? Printed food. In The Simpsons episode Homer Goes to Prep School, the show imagines a future where food is printed at the push of a button. Fast forward to today, and 3D printed food has become a reality. While developing, this technology is already making waves in food sustainability, personalized diets, and even space missions. The idea behind 3D food printing is simple, using edible ingredients like proteins, carbs, and fats as ink to layer and create a meal. This technology gives us control over ingredients, making custom meals tailored to individual needs, reducing food waste, and making food production more efficient. The future of food might be a print away. Imagine a world where you can print your meal exactly how you like it. Would you like that?
The river is drying up, and runoff from agricultural chemical use affects parts of the available water. The governments of North and East Syria have issued a warning about Turkey's plan to use and reduce the water in the Euphrates. He warned that the plan would not only cause harm to the government, but be a direct threat to human lives and a significant risk to the lives of the over 9 million Syrians who live along the river's banks. Since no agreement they make with the Turkish government would be honored, the body in charge of the dams in North and East Syria is calling on humanitarian groups and the rest of the world to intervene in what Turkey's doing. The rate at which the water level is dropping is quite alarming. Geologists are also getting more worried by the day, and it's also getting increasingly difficult to find out what's causing the problem. Even Lake Assad, Syria's largest lake, is greatly affected by this, and on the Global Climate Risk Index, Syria is one of the countries at top risk. As a result of this problem, the United Nations has also sent out a warning to the people living in the Mediterranean region that heat waves would become worse, more frequent and lasting for longer periods. Since there are many good reasons why the river is drying up, people have turned to the Bible for answers, and some quickly relate it to the book of Revelations. Some people who already know what was written in the Bible are not very shocked about the recent happenings, because they believe the Bible already prophesied it, and so it would happen. Many people have believed that what was written about the end of the world would happen after they're long gone, but it becomes scary that the end of the world is occurring right before you. Some people interpret parts of Revelations to mean that Iraq would be an essential part of the world coming to an end. In Revelation chapter 16, the Bible talked about the Euphrates River, saying that the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates River, and its water was taken away to make way for the kings from the east. While some people think this prophecy is about the water drying up or making it unfit for use, others argue that it's about tearing down some walls to make an attack easier. The Euphrates River also served as a boundary to Israel to the east, showing where its lands ended. It kept Israel safe for decades because it was hard to cross, and there was a desert between them and Canaan, the Promised Land. The great Euphrates River runs 2,000 miles toward Palestine and then turns southeast to empty itself in the Persian Gulf. A long time ago, King Cyrus of Persia took over Babylon by diverting the Euphrates River. After doing this, they easily marched into Babylon and overcame it because the stream was dry. At the end of days during the Great Tribulation, an enemy from the east will march through Babylon again, crossing the Euphrates before entering Palestine. Another reason for people's fear is from Revelation 9, verse 14. God tells the sixth angel to let go of the four angels bound at the Euphrates River. If they're bound, are these angels or demons? It's safe to assume that these angels are demons because it says they're bound. Possibly, they were angels sent away from heaven with Lucifer after he rebelled against God. They were usually chained and banished to live in darkness deep underneath the earth. The book of Revelation constantly reminds us that no one can do evil and get away with it, even in the end times. It also reminds us that nothing happens without the knowledge of God. Whether he allows it to happen or he engineers it to happen, he is in charge of everything. With the prophecy of the four angels bound at the Euphrates, many people speculate that the origin of sin must have begun at the Euphrates Valley. The Euphrates River is one of the great rivers flowing out of the Garden of Eden according to the Bible, so we can assume that the murder of Abel by his brother Cain, the first murder, happened near that place. Recently, people living in the region have been complaining of groanings and strange sounds coming from beneath the dried sections of the river. This might give little proof that the people's belief about the presence of bound angels in the region is not a fallacy. It also makes it easier for people to believe that the second coming, when Jesus would return to defeat his enemies, is close. With agitations growing, a pastor in Uganda, Joseph Kabuleta, held a watcher meeting where he told his congregation and Ugandans in general to watch for the second coming and stay alert. In this meeting, he explained different Bible verses portraying prophecies and the references to the present day, and how some of the things recorded have already happened or are currently happening. One of these Bible predictions is the revival of the Dead Sea, the saltiest sea on the earth. Its salt concentration is so high you cannot sink in its waters, and it cannot support any life forms, whether plants or animals. But God told Ezekiel that the waters of the sea would someday be healed and support life forms. This prophecy is coming to pass already, as freshwater fish ponds were discovered along the banks of the Dead Sea in 2016. The pastor didn't stop there, and he gave more insight into the battle that was to happen near the river in the last days. He went on to say that armies from different countries, amassing up to 200 million people, would face Israel, and to survive the battle, Israel would use nuclear weapons. Remember that Israel is kept safe by the Euphrates River, and if it dries up, it would be easier for the armies to cross the river. The river has begun drying, and if measures aren't taken, it would be gone permanently. Pastor Kabulita further went to say that the 7 years of peace recorded in the Bible would be achieved when the other nations intervened in the battle and caused a temporary peace deal between the warring factions. After this, Jesus would be in control of what happens next. These explanations make sense, and even though Elon Musk doesn't believe in God, he has provided other facts and studies. Which do you believe? Is the drying up due to climate change, or does this signify the second coming? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe.